Congressman Buddy Carter joins us now to discuss the fentanyl crisis as well as Dr. Anthony Fauci stepping down. Congressman Buddy Carter, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Congressman, Dr. Fauci has announced his retirement. Congressional Republicans have been vocal about investigating many things, including the gain-of-function research being done at the Wuhan lab and ties to Fauci's NIH. With the Republicans likely to take back the majority, do you think this played a role in his decision?
Well, I don't know what played a role in this decision. I suspect this did. It should have, because I tell you, come next January, when we get into the majority, oversight and investigation, particularly into the origin of this virus, is going to be on the top of our list. And Dr. Fauci has been inconsistent. He's flip-flopped. He has declined to even look into the possibility and the probability, if you will, that this started in the Wuhan labs and that it was a result of gain-of-function research. Dr. Fauci has resisted that and not wanted to participate in that. Well, now he's going to have to answer questions before Congress. Listen, the only better news I could have gotten today, other than the fact that he's retiring, is that he would have been fired. But nevertheless, I think he better have plenty of time on his hands come January, because we're going to be wanting to talk to him.
Congressman, you mentioned Dr. Fauci flip-flopping on issues. An old video of Dr. Fauci has resurfaced about him talking about natural immunity, basically unequivocally saying that the best form of inoculation is to have gotten the virus. Yet when asked recently about COVID-19 and having natural immunity, he hasn't really answered the question directly. This has a lot of people asking questions. Why do you think he answered it this way?
That's a good question, because and that's the problem. That's why people have lost faith in his leadership, is because of the fact that he's flip-flopped on so many issues. And this is a perfect example of it. I mean, look, I got vaccinated. I went through the clinical trials. Wanted to set a good example. I've had COVID. I've had the antibodies as well. So we've always known that the best source of defense and to build up immunity is through having the virus itself. We know that is the case. But with him flip-flopping, that's what's led to the deterioration of confidence in his ability to lead. So, this is good news for America, because we need to take the politics out of healthcare. He has inserted politics into healthcare, and I think that's going to be his legacy, and it's not a good legacy at all, the fact that he put politics into our public healthcare system.
Now, you're saying that he will be called to testify. Senator Rand Paul also saying this as well. With him retiring, is there a possibility that the scope or, say, the vigor of an investigation will be affected?
I certainly hope not, because this is important. We need to understand. We need to understand the origin of this. We need to make sure that this never happens again. And we can only do that if we understand the origin of it. Look, I am no fan of gain-of-function research. Albert Einstein said long ago, the only thing worse than ignorance is arrogance. And I consider gain-of-function research to be nothing more than intellectual arrogance. It has no place in our society. We need to make sure that we're not doing this again. And if indeed this did come from a leak in the Wuhan lab, then China needs to be held responsible. There's no question about that.
I want to get your thoughts, Congressman, on another issue, if I could, the fentanyl crisis. It's Overdose Awareness Month. You're a pharmacist as well. What are your thoughts on this issue plaguing the country?
Listen, this is a national epidemic. There's no question about it. And the drugs that are coming across that southern border, I think most people look at the southern border, they focus on the illegal immigrants who are coming across. I get it. I understand that is important for us to pay attention to that. But the illegal drugs that are infesting our communities, and it's every community, even in my district in South Georgia, we've got some counties that have gang activity directly related to the Mexican cartels. The amount of fentanyl in this country right now, enough to kill every American 7 times over. We're hearing horror stories, just awful stories of people taking pills that have been laced with the fentanyl and dying, especially young people. We had over 107,000 deaths last year due to overdose, many of them due to fentanyl. This is something that we've got to bring to the attention. Please don't ever take anything that you don't know where it came from, that you don't know that it came from your pharmacy, from your doctor, but make sure that you do not take it unless you know it came from a healthcare professional like your doctor or your pharmacist.
Very important advice. Congressman Buddy Carter, thank you.
Thank you.